in, sir.
Come in, please.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Take your seat, please.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, this is Pooja Malani. You are from Jaipur.
Yes.
Jaipur. You are currently undergoing training in Hyderabad.
No, sir. I have taken EUL.
You have taken
Extraordinary.
Okay. Now, as an IPS officer, even this thing, you will have to work with the people at the very grassroots level,
Yes,
the lower
sir.
level. So one problem which anybody who has gone to a grassroots level, Juggi Japri or anybody, even in a big cities, the absence of security, the feeling of security among women and children, especially the girl child,
Yes, sir.
and also the enormous prevalence of the role of smack and all the nashili padarth among the younger generation. So these both combine to have a very bad combination in all the big cities, in Delhi, Jaipur, everywhere you go. So and that leads to a lot of other problems like this thing, the trafficking of children and women.
Yes, sir.
That is a major problem in India, especially Delhi, and it is the hub actually. So, what are the main, I ask you as a police officer, potential, what are the main acts which prevent the trafficking? You understand trafficking? Trafficking means taking these children and the women to various other cities or even abroad and use them for prostitution and other sorts of heinous, very heinous work like maid servant, captive labor, bonded labor, and even their limbs are also deformed and they will be made to work as the beggars, street beggars, the children, I mean.
Yes, sir.
The women, the elderly women, mostly for prostitution purpose. The north, these Middle East countries, all that. So now, what are the main acts which govern, prevent? It's available with the police for prevention of this sort of crime.
Yes, sir. So there are certain set of laws. First is the Prevention of Human Trafficking Act to prevent the human trafficking. Second is the Bonded Labor Abolition Act, and to prevent the child abuse and related trafficking there is POCSO Act, Protection of Child from Sexual Offences Act, and so fourth is the there is NDPS Act to address the drug trafficking issue, and so this is all.
And then of course your IPC, CRPC.
Yes, sir, they are.
IPC, CRPC.
Yes, sir, they are the ones.
Now suppose you are, God willing, you should get into IAS, but even otherwise suppose you are put as the DCP in a place, these places where there are a lot of Juggi Jhopris in Delhi, you are Agbut, you get Agbut cadre, and you are placed there in charge of these areas where the women necessarily look up to you as, they do look up to you as police officer women. And direct recruit women, they do look up to. So as a DCP of the entire area which governs the entire Delhi is, so what will be how will you try to minimize this sort of trafficking and this nashili padarth and all these all the crimes, the usual crimes?
Yes, sir. Sir, as all these issues are somehow linked, so I would take a plan of action which would be convergent in implementation. So first would be, my effort would be to implement the law of the land in the letter and spirit, that if the perpetrators should be prosecuted, proper investigations should be carried out. On the second aspect, sir, I would take initiatives of community policing, in which the empowerment of women and girl child by self-defense, which can be given by the police personnel. And so third, I would take administration into confidence, and I would help them. With them, we can collaborate to educate these people about the schemes which are going for their upliftment. And so fourth is often it is felt that there is a lack of education. So within the community policing initiative, the police officers from their free time, if they are not working, then they can educate these persons about they can educate them about competitive exams and all, so that once they are lifted, from the vulnerability, then it will be difficult to take them into the network of trafficking and all. So these are some of the steps.
Okay, I suppose. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Pooja, your subject is sociology.
Yes, sir.
What is happening to the institution of family, joint family in India?
Pardon me, sir, what is...
What is happening
Oh,
to the institution of joint family in India?
Yes. So joint family, institution of joint family in India is going through a cyclical process. Firstly, in rural areas, there was the institution of joint family, and then with increasing employment, increasing urbanization, the migration increased and people tend to go towards nuclear families. But again, we are witnessing a trend in which both of the partners are working, and then their parents are visiting them. And it is somehow earlier the ritual based joint family has now become a functional joint family, where it is performing the functions which are suitable to the couple. And this was the cyclical approach, that first of all we had joint family, then again nuclear family, and then again we are having functional joint families.
Okay. And otherwise also they meet in marriages, funerals, the emotional
Yes, sir.
bond remains intact.
Yes, sir. Even though the family is nuclear, but when it comes to the ritual sphere, when these functions like marriage or any ceremony is being organized, or there is something like Pitra Shad and all, these enforce the link between the nuclear family and their parental joint family.
So in these nuclear families where both parents are working,
Yes, sir.
what happens to their children if the grandparents cannot come?
Yes, sir. There can be multiple issues if the parents are working and they are not available for their children. They are not giving them proper time. First is the communication gap, which is created between children and the parents, and second is that children are less inclined towards sharing information with their parents, and often it is seen that certain cases of child abuse often go unnoticed because of this communication gap only. And so third is it creates a psychological impact of loneliness among the children. So these are some of the issues.
Okay. Do you know what is Sanskritization?
Yes, sir.
Who propounded the theory, and can you tell me something?
Yes, sir. So Sanskritization theory was propounded by M.N. Srinivas, and it says that the lower caste in the hierarchy of the caste system often imitate the actions of the upper caste in the ritual sphere and in their dietary habits. So with a hope that in upcoming generations they would get the status of upper caste.
Does it really happen? Do they move up in social hierarchy?
So this, there was evidence from the field studies that this actually didn't happen. Even though their ritual status may get increased, but still they are at the lower status from those upper caste to whom they were imitating.
Okay. You are a IPS professional. Have you been to the academy?
Yes, sir.
Where it is situated?
So in Hyderabad it is.
No. The exact place.
So I'm unable to recall it. It was Hyderabad and...
It's 13 kilometers from Hyderabad city. It's called Sibrampalli. When you go back, you check.
Thank you, sir. I will check.
Okay. Now all the three criminal laws have been amended.
Yes, sir.
So you will administer these three criminal laws, which are now an act of the Parliament. So in this, the police custody
Yes, sir.
has been increased from 15 days to 60 days,
Yes, sir.
and in some cases 90 days.
Yes, sir.
You think it is a positive step?
So there are some issues associated with this step, that it can lead to denial of bail to the accused. as it is increasing the powers of police. So sir, according to me, this can be modified by having some consultation with the stakeholders.
Okay. And now this adultery is going flip-flop. Once it was decriminalized, again it was brought back, now again it has been decriminalized.
Yes, sir.
What is your view?
Sir, adultery should be decriminalized as it is recognized as a ground for divorce. That is okay, but it should not be a criminal offense, and it should be implemented in a gender neutral manner also. So my view is with the decriminalization of adultery, as it is in the personal sphere of someone's relationship.
Okay. You write poems.
Yes, sir.
Can you recite 2 lines or 4 lines
Yes.
from one of your poems?
Yes, sir. Sir, I have written a poem on survivor of child sexual abuse, and it shows that how the child fights back. And it starts like, it's his birthday, but he is sad. Thoughts in his mind are making him mad. Contradictions between what he learned and what he felt, his body has turned into an ice block which refuses to melt. He is afraid to step out, he is afraid to play. For his PT teacher, he has become a toy of clay. That devil touches him wherever he wants. It's a sign of victory for him and shame for victim he flaunts. The child hates himself for being so vulnerable. Suddenly, he stands up and says, let's turn the table. Gathering his broken pieces with all the courage he had, he reveals truth and reveals all those marks, making that devil mad. So, thank you, sir.
Rolling.
Pooja, you had sociology as your optional subject.
Yes, sir.
Now see, caste is a traditional institution and democracy is a modern. When we adopted this democratic form of government, we thought that people will exercise their option of selecting their representatives on the basis of merit. But somehow the caste was the dominant factor. It did fade partially, but it had assumed different forms. So do you think that it is the healthy development in democracy what is happening?
So caste is impacting the politics on 2 fronts. First is the politicization of caste, and other one is casteization of politics. The aspect of casteization of politics is unhealthy to the spirit of democracy, as it affects the people's choice for free and fair elections. But on the other side, if we would see the politicization of caste, in which certain backward caste groups are getting mobilized and they are getting organizational awareness, they are getting into leadership roles, and on that aspect I think it has placed a certain positive role also, as they are coming up with their demands and all. So.
The recent initiative on caste census,
Yes.
how do you think that it will have a sociological impact or economic impact on the development of the society as such?
Yes, sir. So one such positive sociological impact of caste census would be that with this we would be able to implement all those beneficial actions which we have in a more targeted manner. And Indian society is basically a society based on graded inequality, and even though we are enabling the benefits, but there is a certain top section of each caste or each population which gets the benefits, and the backwardness remains to the lower levels. So I think we would be able to transverse past those levels and would reach to the lowest level of the people.
Okay. Now, there is a lot of discussion about empowering women at workplace. Empowering, you could, particularly in the area of equity, diversity, and inclusiveness.
Yes, sir.
What do you mean by this?
Equity, inclusiveness, and so
And diversity.
diversity.
Women at work.
Yes, sir. So, with equity, I would mean that women should be given equally responsible tasks as they are being given to their male counterparts. As often in the police service, it is seen that women police officers are sometimes given the desk jobs. They are not taken to the field by their seniors. So that aspect shows the lack of equity. And second is inclusiveness. Then inclusiveness, I would mean by inclusiveness, the workplace should be made more inclusive by having proper infrastructure, proper restrooms facilities, to ensure that all genders are working at an inclusive place. And so third, diversity. With diversity also, the women should be free to explore the fields she want to take. And also if she want to work at the night shifts, then she should be free to do that.
Yes, something like that, but they also define it that equity should be for equal job, equal pay.
Yes, sir.
Same kind
Equal
of job,
pay also,
they should
yes,
be
sir.
equal pay. Diversification, that they should not be stereotype.
Yes, sir.
That the women should be given only desk job.
Yes, sir.
So they should be given free job also. And inclusiveness means that involvement in the decision making.
Yes.
In the corporate sector, there was one amendment in the Companies Act. Do you recall that? What was that? Empowering women at work.
So as far as I can remember, it was something related to directors. Certain
Good.
directors need to be women, but exactly what was the
Something like
proposal?
listed company must have a director.
Yes, sir.
Women director. Okay, fine. Now, in the functioning of the government, computerization has made an impact, both when it comes to government delivering the benefits to the public and also getting compliance from the public for the purpose. Can you relate it with some of the practical manifestation of it on the ground level, that government delivering and government getting benefit out of it?
So of computerization.
Computerization.
Yes.
Digitization, computerization.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So when government is delivering the benefits on this aspect, we have MG Narega portal in which wages are directly being transferred to their accounts. And so second is initiatives of e-governance, like we have My Governance app to also the CP Grams portal where citizens can register their grievances. And so other than on the getting compliance, we have faceless assessment schemes in the income tax section. And so also sir, the online challan in the traffic rules, we have those things.
Okay. Now, in modern days, the lobby interest group,
Yes, sir.
they influence the government policy. Sometimes they force the government to retreat. Can you quote certain instances where the law has been for the benefit of people, common people, but even then the government had to retreat?
So one such instance was the farm laws, which
Apart
have
from
been
that?
repealed. So I'm unable to recall any such other.
Okay. Like the punishment for professional negligence in the case of doctors, Vehicle Act where some harsh punishment were there for the truck transporters,
Yes, sir.
etc. So they had to be withdrawn or put on hold for some time. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, Pooja.
So fine.
Pooja, I can see that you're currently IPS probationer, but you're coming from a relatively humble background as far as your economic aspects are concerned.
Yes, sir.
And you're a sociology student.
Yes, sir.
Can you just look at your life and tell me, so you're a peculiar case where you're economically deprived but socially privileged.
Yes.
Give me 3 instances where it appears that despite being economically deprived, the social privileges you had helped you.
So social privileges in the aspect of caste and
There's several things. I mean, that's why you're EWS, you're socially advanced but economically backward.
So one privilege which I think that I have never faced the caste discrimination, which I found that some of my batchmates or some seniors have faced.
Right.
And
One is that
such thing-
you being from, you had the social privileges and you didn't face the discrimination. But is there anything where you actually was feeling the advantage of being socially privileged?
No, sir. As directly, I have never seen such an advantage.
What is this in sociology? Why is it so that the privileged usually fail to feel the privileges, but they do feel the discrimination? Is it what is the social psychology and what is the sociology of it that we fail to see our privileges, feel our privileges, but we very readily feel discrimination or deprivations?
So this is because of the difference in the socialization. as we had socialized in the environment where
So we
are-
consider our privileges as our entitlements.
Yes, sir, this can happen. This is a possibility where we are unable to see that when we see that someone is more deprived than us, as I felt when I see some of my seniors from the lower caste, then I felt that yes, it was a privilege for me that I have never faced such kind of discrimination.
Let's talk a little bit of international relation. When the COVID was happening, we saw the countries where the benevolent leaders, the women leaders were there. They did well handling the COVID. In comparison to countries where masculine leaders, powerful leaders who are accepted were in power, be it US, be it India, be it Brazil and other places. Do you believe that the women leaders in international relations are more humane and acceptable in the society, or is it another stereotype? I'm talking in terms of international relation only.
Yes, sir. So I think it is the leadership qualities of a leader, irrespective of their gender, which make them more human and acceptable. And it is considered, and we can consider it as a positive stereotype, that it is said that women are more human and they have better communication skills and all. But I personally feel that a leader should have certain qualities irrespective of their gender.
Why strong leaders perform badly when it comes to handling of COVID?
So I think it is the leadership. We can't say that someone is a strong leader or not. It depends on the situation to situation and decisions which are they taking.
Okay. In terms of the WTO, there are always talks about subsidies, and one of the defense the government is giving against MSP legalized is that WTO will not allow it because it's a subsidy. What kind of boxes of subsidy are there in WTO?
Yes. So one is amber box, which is in which subsidies are allowed. One is orange box, in which certain regulations are there. And
what is red box?
So I think red box is having subsidies which can distort the economic trade at the international level.
And what is green box?
So green box, I'm unable
If government actually legalize the MSP,
Yes, sir.
which box if it is subsidy, will that be formed?
So it would be going to red box, as it prohibits any such kind of trade policy which can directly violate the principles of fair trade.
Okay, thank you. So,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Now, I suppose you can wait outside, Pooja, and we can call you back for the feedback.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Please come in. Take your seat, please,
Thank you,
Pooja. Just relax. Only the feedback. Achha, when is your interview?
So 7th of March.
7th of March. So 3 weeks.
Yes.
You have got enough time. Now you are already joined there, or you are on leave?
Yes, sir. On leave.
On leave. Very nice. So last year, what the main thing they asked, and how much did you get?
Sir, I got 180 in the
Very
interview.
nice. Very beautiful.
And it was DAF based, about my 7th column and situational questions based on that.
Issues and all that. And opinion based, anything?
Yes, the opinion on history should be rewritten or not, such kind of questions also.
Okay, now you have only opted for the Indian Administrative Service, and it's justifiable, of course. You are got enough time now. You also have good, your knowledge also you are quite okay, quite nice, but you have to, since you have come to us for improvement, since you have to improve now, you don't know how much you have got in the written, nobody knows.
Yes, sir.
So you have to maximize 275, maximize how much.
Yes.
So 180 last year you got, so at least 200. Because that pyramid is the contest is fierce actually, 1 marks. So you have to 200 less will be a little difficult. So 200 you have to aim for. For that you have to knowledge, you have enough time. So gender is something very important, they will ask, sociology. Then secondly, you will just last time also you got a little sympathy factor of the board, because your background shows that a lot of sympathy. I mean, the way you have come up to that is such a marvelous thing of the world. I mean, it's a nature has really helped you. So you will get a sympathy. So that way, but you have to be also have the knowledge base. So knowledge is one is gender, then your icons, the lady icons in various fields like policing. There are so many icons. You should learn a little bit about them.
Yes, sir.
Your science, technology, Chandrayaan, Gaganyaan. There are a lot of women scientists are really doing major work there. So who are this background? Then because three icons you say: post-independence, pre-independence.
Yes, sir.
That we prepare with that. DAP, obviously, whatever you have, but DAP you have not this year not said too many things, but whatever you have said, every single point has to be covered thoroughly, that you have covered last time. Now, the knowledge, of course, what if you know, fine. If you don't know, then you have to practice that. You are saying, sorry, sir, I don't know. But you can take a guess, correct, take a guess or something. Take permission and then try. Because if you go wrong, they will not mind. But if you make a wild guess without taking permission, it looks a little bad. Now, opinion based, they didn't ask too many, but this time they may ask a little more. So you'll have to be ready with that. Now, opinion based, the current thumb rule we say from here is listen to the question till the end. Listen to the question till the end. Now, what does it mean? It means that there are a lot of discussion takes place on a subject. At the end there will be question. Now people who the subject is familiar, the people block their minds. They say, I know the subject. So they start saying something, but actually their subject they have said, well, just to frame that question. But probably the purport of the question is different within that subject. So you have to have the patience to listen to the end, the purport of the question. Then frame your mind answers in crisp short sentences, bullet points. The first points are most important point first. Firstly, sir, you want to stay. You also say firstly, secondly, thirdly, fourthly, stop. Art of stopping.
Yes, sir.
No introduction, no conclusion. You ask a question, give you the answer. That's all. But sometimes people will say the same thing. Sir, you want to say the no need. He knows the background. He just wants these points on which your opinion. Firstly, secondly, in order of preference, importance actually. Then counter question will follow. If not, they will change the subject. But if you don't say the most important point in the beginning, you may lose the chance. By the time you go to the next important or most important point, they will change the subject. So that, and next is sometimes your voice is coming a little down. Sometimes. So you have to, what you do before a mirror, you practice, you got enough time. Or you can do some important question, you just say before this thing, record it and they play it back.
Yes, sir.
The play it back, you say you also hear your voice. You say how much amplitude or modulation is required, how much volume and amplitude, that you will be able to. Your own subject, physics and chemistry, the many things have happened. All these Heisenberg uncertain principle, so many things are happening.
Yes,
quantum
sir.
mechanics, quantum subject, what is quantum mechanics, Heisenberg, they are closely related, like that.
Yes.
Astronomy.
Yes, sir.
So basic, your physics, chemistry must, because you are not only graduation, but even then, there may suddenly some physicists will be there. And whatever happens, you are a strong character, so you will not, but don't overthink. Don't overthink, you don't miss out one or two. Don't start thinking that, I have not missed out, I must say it, like that. It's not a question of your knowledge. They are saying, how do you react under pressure? They may put a little pressure, because IPS, so they put a little pressure. And IPS, yes, every single acts, rules, all these things. Now, anti-trafficking also, there are CETA Act or something, just go through that. So all these, the various acts and POXOs also later, the tribal, anti-tribal also there are those laws, etc., acts, and now the IPA, the IPCRP has been amended, so go through them very carefully.
Yes, sir.
Because that will be a tool now.
Yes.
Externment, what is externment, then drugs, etc. There are some recent cases of somebody, The NDPS Act was done by something which was the officer itself has been indicted. The officer was doing that, customs officer was indicted by the CBI now. So there are still cases where the Rakshak become Bhakshak, something like that. There is a Bollywood case too, that famous case, Aryan Khan. And ED PMLA, lot of cases have been high profile cases, ED PMLA, the prevention of money laundering case, so many things, high profile cases, police officer, a little background, and everything. And for foreign relation you must hear that there is an CNN IBN television channel, CNN IBN, go through that. In the evening there is some first post for India and the foreign relation, all the countries are whatever they linked, there will be every day's things. There is some lady anchor, Palki Sharma, she does nicely, very interesting way. So then foreign relation you can cover daily events and make some notes also if it is useful to you. And lastly at the end we can say that your opinion, not the establishment's opinion, you are a private candidate. So they want your opinion at the end. I mean, and then the way you say that point wise, so that gives an impression. But then once you change, once you have your opinion on any controversial subject, don't change it. Under extreme, there will be immense pressure. There could be, but if you don't change it, but if you change it, then you should say it's not thought through that. Normally you should not change, but unless there is extreme, you committed a mistake or something. And so that's all. You get to the end, maybe week or 10 days ago, you can get yourself checked again, how much you have improved. You have improved also, you are absolutely there, yes, but your goal is so high, you only IAS, so obviously there have to be a little cutthroat competition. So you have to, but don't put pressure on you. Normal is a job to be done, so normal, easy and nice you go through and that. You should get it in the dress, of course you will be a little changing on that day.
Sir, I am wearing a sari, a grey colored sari.
But practice it before that.
Yes, sir.
Practice. So just don't on that day you wear a sari and then you think of sari only, that other than the question. So practice.
Yes, sir.
You will do well. You should either do it in the, I mean you are only one choice. So you have to, the earlier you get, you are very young. So get in this year you will become the director IB or DGP of your state or something. So age is on your side. So crack this year, do it this year.
Yes,
no
sir.
more waiting for another year or something.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank
All
you.
the best.
Sir, that question on women leaders, that as my opinion is.
Rightly pointed out that you have to work on the gender part little sensitivity, because sensitivity of yours, both being a woman and a police officer, will be important. Usually, you rightly said that it is another kind of a stereotype.
Yes, sir.
That is important, but empathy was more important in that lack of decision making. That's why there were certain leaders which appears to be having, but don't let you must have noticed that very in a very light manner I pushed in even India's name. You have to be careful and ensure that India handled the COVID under those circumstances as well as what we could.
Sir, as my stand on that I feel leaders should have certain qualities irrespective of gender.
Yeah,
Was
everyone
that
should have empathy.
yeah? Was that correct? That women are okay.
Right? All the
Yes.
best.
Okay,
All
thank
the
you,
best.
sir. Thank you, sir.
अच्छा और कुर्सी लाओ भाई, कुर्सी.